citizen participation sheet that if you'd like to sign up to speak tonight, it is over on this little wooden cabinet. Now, let's get going. I need to call the meeting to order.
So moved.
Second.
So that was you first, Roger. Hey, I'm new, and second by
Sorry, you got
Caitlin. Okay, motion by Roger, seconded by Caitlin to approve the, to call the meeting to order. Chris?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
And Jennifer?
Yes.
7 yeses.
Next up, we need an approval and adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Caitlin, seconded by Tammy to approve and adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yeses.
Next up, we are going to review board norms for the month of April. We're going to review norms 5 and 6. We will be involved to our individual level of comfort. Each of us is responsible for airing concerns and/or disagreements during the meeting rather than carrying those disagreements outside the board meeting. And we will operate in a courteous and friendly atmosphere, express disagreements with ideas, not individuals. Next up, Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on our list is board recognition, and we do not have any for the month of April. Moving into citizen participation. This meeting is a business meeting of the Board of Education held in public. 30 minutes will be allotted to residents of the school district and staff to give the board the opportunity to listen to citizens. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and to 1 appearance, thus allowing for maximum number of participants in the allotted time in which citizens are to speak to issues. The board will not respond to comments at this time, but you will receive a response to any questions from the district superintendent and/or a member of the board within a reasonable amount of time after this meeting. Additionally, members of our community may contact individual board members to engage in dialogue about school matters. During this public comment period, we ask that speakers refrain from using profanity, and speakers who violate this rule may be asked to leave. We do have one citizen participation, and it's Jean Abel.
I'm Jean Abel. I teach kindergarten, obviously. With the belief that less can be more, I just wanted to touch on the topic of class size. As a veteran teacher, I definitely feel strongly about the impact of just a few more kids in a classroom. I know what my experiences and opinions are. At times I may find that hard to articulate, but I kind of was wondering what the actual research showed. Project STAR, the Student Teacher Achievement Ratio Project, was a 4-year study that examined the effects of class size in kindergarten through 3rd grade. After the 4 years, the following effects were noted. The children obtained higher scores with improved cognition, needed less remediation later, had a lower retention rate, had improved discipline, and these benefits were retained even in later years when they returned to regular class sizes. The gold standard for the class size was a 15-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, my dream. 2 other items of note I thought that was very interesting was the largest impact was discovered and achieved when the student enters schooling in a small class setting, and that students of low socioeconomic status get substantially larger benefits. Again, as a veteran teacher who's had between 16 and 23 kiddos in my class, I can definitely tell you that the personal connection between a teacher and a student is much deeper when you have a smaller class size. I just like to finish by saying that I'm not well versed with the financial implication of maintaining small class sizes. All I wanted to do was speak from my heart with concerns about the kiddos that I'm very lucky and blessed to have in my class every year. Thank you.
We can move into consent agenda items. There's a list of consent agenda items in your packet. If anybody would like to pull a particular item, we can. And if not, we just need a motion to approve consent agenda.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Chris Bell, seconded by Roger Bridgman to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Okay, we can move into financial statement for the April bills. I believe there's 2 different check lines in there. And if you have a question, please ask it now, otherwise we need a motion.
On some of this, supplies, is that going into next year's supplies? For like, let me ask, hold on,
First or second check line?
it was first run. Or is this cleaning up like what's left over of the budget?
So there was a deadline to utilize all their funding. so
Okay, that's what I was
whatever.
wondering.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, so we could utilize it this year
Sure.
or next year, however it is.
gotcha.
I would say historically, it kind of looks like this every
Yeah.
April-ish, especially when you get towards the end of the year, and like Dr. Davidson said, when requests start coming in pretty heavy.
And then the fundraiser, chocolate fundraiser, does elementary get to keep all of that? Or how does that work? So
Well,
is that,
Yeah, after they pay the portion
that's,
back to
okay,
the chocolate.
that's what I was wondering, if they,
Company.
No, we have an invoice that has to be paid.
I
That's
gotcha.
what goes to.
Yeah. Whatever they earn, they get.
That's great.
Did you have that total in your board report?
How much we made? Did I put it in there? I don't remember. I feel like
We'll
it was
get
a lifetime ago that I did the board report, but
Okay. Any more questions, or does he have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion by Chris Bell, seconded by Tammy Pollard to approve the financial statement and action on the April bills as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
7, any opposed?
Okay.
6 yes, 1 abstain.
Okay, let's move into administrative reports. First up, we have board and committee reports. I don't think that there's been any board committees that have met recently. Sherry, do you have any updates?
Just with MSBA, their quarterly meeting is this weekend in Neosho. And, but I am unable to go, I already have prior commitment, family stuff going on, so. And usually April, about every year or two, I'll miss April because it's the same thing.
Okay, let's move into building principal reports. Let's start in the high school.
Okay. So I just have one correction on my board report for the guidance. I had all but one virtual senior is on track, and that senior is now on track. So a week has made all the world of difference for that student. So we're looking good with 107 graduates. At the moment, we met with those that are in jeopardy. Ms. Hulbert and I met with them today, called parents today. Everybody's got a plan. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Mrs. Hulbert. She did EOC testing basically on her own this year with it being going down one counselor with a lot of help from Mrs. Baus. And all the virtual students are tested and they will test tomorrow. So we are doing good.
There's also the 2025 senior dates. And Mrs. BC put that in your packet. There's a lot of events coming up. I don't know, like scholarship night. It's a really good night to see all of our kids just really get recognized for all of the good things that they do. All of our seniors, I should say.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, make sure you get those things on your calendar. There's a lot.
Yeah, check out they decorate their cars for the grad parade. Just hop somewhere in town, and yeah, a lot of good celebrations coming up for them. So if you need to find me in the month of May, I will be here.
Let's shift down into middle school.
Just one thing to add, Mrs. Pollock took a group of students to the book battle in Sullivan on Friday, April 11th, and they competed against 5 other schools and took first place. They had a good time. They had to read so many different books from a list of books, and then they did like a Jeopardy style competition with the other schools, and our 7 kiddos took first place, so they was excited about that. So just getting into the busy time just like everyone else with a lot of things going on, and preparing for our big CMS variety show, which we always have a really good turnout. Great time, does display, student work, and doing the night at the museum. The 8th grade kids really enjoy that, so it's a good time.
And 18 staff members get a pie in their face. Your spice company.
Yeah, and some of them get multiple pies, but I don't get any. Right now.
I was told that I was
That
on
returned
that.
in his name.
No way.
Too late, sorry. No, but yeah, that's gonna be fun. We make a huge mess, but it's good.
That's good. And once again, there's a lot of different events going on in the middle school, so add those to your calendar as well. Yep. Let's get into elementary.
Okay, so we are also chugging right along. I did go back and look, and we did clear just over $17,000 in our chocolate sales. So our little workers got out there and sold lots of chocolate for us. They had a lot of fun with it. They take great pride in it. We were able to celebrate those students. They got their prizes. That like we kind of collaborate with the World's Finest Chocolate people. That vendor sends us prizes, and then we also do things within our building. So we had some students win some TVs if they had a golden ticket in their chocolate box. And then we threw a pizza party. We fed pizza to I think 98 students in our building, and those students were all students that sold over 3 boxes of chocolate. So that would be almost $200 worth of chocolate that they sold. So that was awesome. We have lots of things coming up as well. The same night as the senior scholarship night, we actually have our school carnival. We're bummed to have those overlapping, but as I'm sure you'll notice with the calendar that we are running out of days and things are filling up. So we are excited to welcome some high school students in to help us with that if they don't have anything for the scholarship night. We did wrap up our pre-K screening, and we officially have a roster for the 25-26 school year. So we are super excited and proud of that. We have our wait list in place. All of those families have been contacted. They took it very well because, again, the easiest way that Miss Lawrence, being our parents, teachers, educator, and I could explain it to these parents when we reached out to them was that really we did not pick a number. The kids picked the number. We had parents enroll them, we got them scheduled for a screening, we screened them, and we started at the bottom and we worked our way up. And once we hit that 20 cap, we couldn't take any more kids, but we could put them on a wait list. But our wait list, we still feel, as far as kids that have been screened and we have their dial score to look at, is a very reasonable number to have on a wait list. So we still have a whole summer between there, so there is room for change. And then last but not least, we have lots of field trips coming up in our building. We've got kindergarten heading to Magic House. 1st and 2nd are going to go into Merrimack Springs, and then 3rd and 4th grade have finished their spring field trips already, but they will get to participate in the MAP reward, which will be a water day. So lots of fun stuff going on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's move over into the special ed report. She's not here. So
She's at a baseball game.
If you had questions, send her an email. Let's move into Miss Abby. Hi, Abby.
I put it in my report, but we did all get to watch the Superhero Sanitarium play today, and it was really good. I'm really proud of them. They are, I believe, doing it tomorrow
Tonight and tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, well, they're still doing it right now, yeah.
They're doing it now.
Yeah, and then tomorrow they'll also be performing at 6, so I would really encourage everyone to go. It's really fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Abby, is this your last meeting with us?
I'll come back just for you guys.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into into Assistant Superintendent report.
Sure. I don't really have anything to add, but I did want to say today was Bus Driver Appreciation Day, and our bus drivers were definitely feeling the love. They got lots of goodies and treats from the different buildings, from some community members, and from central office. And then there were some students hand delivering cards to them when they were getting on the bus this afternoon. So that was really sweet. I know they felt very loved and appreciated. So
They should. I mean, it would be hard to have school.
Very much so.
Okay, Superintendent report.
Yep, just want to highlight a couple things in here. I'm pretty proud of the fact that our overall pool of candidates has increased, and we're getting really good quality candidates for our openings, and that's due to all the work that's been done with hourly wages, salaries, staff benefits. I think we've done a lot of good things in the last 2 or 3 years. Just want to thank the board for that as well, approving those recommendations and the work put in, working with me to navigate all that. So I think a big positive for our district there, and then I'm just really excited about our capital projects, which will be presented here later in the meeting. But I think that turned out really well, and definitely within a ballpark of doability if that's the direction the board chooses to go. So excited about the future projects.
Okay, that's actually a major win, what you just highlighted about having the applicants that we're receiving. That's a huge win for our district.
Okay.
Okay, let's move into unfinished business. We have a 24-25 budget update.
So our current budget, we're on track here today. Expenditures are at 95.73% in comparison with our revenues received, which are 84.25%. So we're good for this year's budget. Nothing major that's popped up.
Sounds good. Let's move into the 25-26 budget update.
So in your packet's a preliminary budget for the 25-26 year. There's still a legislative process going on right now and kind of tracking potentially what could happen. So some good news though on the updates today. There was a lot of funding for public ed put into the budget, so that's in the Senate right now. And so that should, we think, go through with stuff in there such as fully funding career ladder, transportation, some things they want to work on, governor wants to work on is the foundation formula. So it'll be a task force he's going to put together to do that. But they also talked about the student adequacy targets multiplier we get per student. That may increase as well, which would be beneficial, kind of offset our decrease in enrollment. But something with enrollment too, looking at legislation, if open enrollment passes, then we could have a decrease in students as well. So some of it's just going to be offset a little bit, but we'll have to figure out. But right now we have a preliminary budget kind of putting our projected reserves at about 63% at the end of next year. But that is noticeably going down with the draw that we planned with the increases of salaries. Might look a little higher. We maybe don't spend all of our budget that we planned for, so that's assuming we spend every penny we put in there. So we may have a 3% that we don't spend from year to year, but that is right on track though. So if you put the 3% in there, 66% at the end of last year, we had an 82% reserve. So that's 16% divided in 2 years, that's 8%. We were kind of shooting for a 6, but one of the things that's catching us is our decrease in enrollment. That does correlate to about $432,000 less money received just due to lower numbers. But that might be offset by SAT. So that's why it's all preliminary. It's still kind of all up in the works. There's just a lot of parts still moving around, but we're in a good, healthy place there financially with our operating and money for salaries. Our unrestricted fund balances are in a good place.
Any questions about that budget update? Let's move into new business. First up, we have to adopt the 25-26 career ladder plan. There is a document in your packet that goes through all of it. Dr. Davidson, would you like to highlight anything on this?
Just to be eligible, DESE does ask that we have the board approve the plan, and then when that's submitted, we put the board approval date in that application piece. So if you would be so kind to approve that, that would be, again, a great benefit to our teachers to fully fund the career ladder.
I make the motion that we adopt this plan.
Okay.
I should give the disclaimer that's with the budget being approved and the money being appropriated, so, for the state, but it is all looking highly likely it will happen, which is good.
So motion by Tammy Palmer, seconded by Caitlin Mace, that we approve the 25-26 district career ladder plan as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? 7 yes.
Okay. Next up, we do have a policy update for this month. It is only for review purposes. It's in your packet. So you can read through that if you have questions throughout the next month. Be sure to get with somebody and ask that. You can ask it tonight, but
I can't get into it.
I can't either.
It's, I don't have a product key.
Well, and I'll go ahead and share, what they added is a reference as a DESI Youth Suicide Awareness and Prevention Model Policy, and you can Google that and it pulls up, it's about a 15-page document on here. And that was the addition to that regulation.
I can't get into it either.
Did you make a smiley face or something?
Nope.
Look, if I hit the smiley face.
I know that we have an IT person that can definitely help us with that in the meantime. But it's just for review right now. We can
That's
get
all right.
to it.
Would there be any way that could be emailed to us? Maybe? Because then I could open it.
I'm sure he can
Okay.
maneuver it and so you'll be able to access it.
Or you can go on my computer and see it all.
Roger.
Right here.
Okay, we can move into the presentation of proposed capital projects and costs by Mr. Corey Beckmiller.
Hi. Good stuff.
So everybody should have a copy of this book at their place. If you don't, please let me know. I've got a couple extras here. We're going to just walk through what was the process we took to get to this point today, starting with the process the district took, and your guys' committee kind of going through and understanding. You guys put together a walk of the buildings and a list of projects from that walk to understand some of the wants and needs of the district. That's when, oh, sorry. That is what is the main summary here on the small book that you have. There's 3 books that are being left with the district. One is the summary book, and then book 2 and 3 are the actual backup and all the data. And there will be an electronic link with Dr. Davidson for these hard copies. You're staying with him to keep here in the district as well. But on this summary, you will see the full list of projects that were generated and a total cost or budget for these list of projects. To get to this point, we met with Dr. Davidson, walked the buildings, understood the scope, created definitions of these scope, and then put together estimates. Some of these scopes we made came back and brought additional experts to walk out, the masonry tuck pointing, the field lighting, some of those we brought in some additional experts. I'm going to pick 1 or 2 of these and walk through in detail to kind of explain to the group what was in these books, how we got to the point in these books, and then why we are comfortable with these numbers for you guys for today's dollars. So if you look at the first one here, it's the high school secure entrance. You will see there's a budget of $136,000, $136 and $117. We go into the backup book. That same number is here under tab 1 for $136,117. Below that is a breakdown of the scope based on each line item in the scope. So this is not a square foot cost. This is truly identifying scope associated with that high school renovation. From that wall, on the next page, you'll see there's a paragraph that is these aren't in your books, it's just in these books. A paragraph that explains the full scope and kind of gives you a quick read of the scope so you can understand this high school renovation was to go through and remove some of the existing storefront, push it in a little farther into that common space to allow that main entrance, to allow public into that main entrance and direct them straight into the front office without having access to the rest of the building. It's also adding a secure transaction window, so there's a spot there for administration to interact with the public, receive papers, exchange papers, have that communication behind a secure barrier if needed. If they're deemed safe, they have the ability to let them into the admin suite. From that scope, we do have some of your existing plans that we have marked up, and then there should be photos of that space with document or markups showing exactly what are the adjustments to the space. That is the same process that we have taken for each one of these items. But if we refer back to these numbers here, $136,000. That is the large number up top. If you look at all these scopes on the bottom, they only add up to $86,000. How do we get from 86 to 136,000? Up top, we start adding in the contractor's markup for insurance, their markup for performance and payment bonds, their overhead, profit, and fee. This also includes soft costs, because this will require a design team to actually come in and develop blueprints. All of those markups are included in here to get to that $136,000. So this is a total project number. It's not just a construction cost. It's a cost for this entire project from day one to the end. That is the same process we use to walk through all of these items. And then you will notice in some of these, for instance, the parking lots. The parking lots are broke down by region, the parking lot around the district, around the site. So you may not want to do all $2 million worth of parking lots on day one, but you want to do specific regions that you deem are worse than others, or ones that are falling behind. You have that cost broke down by region to understand those costs and to make those educated decisions moving forward. This total dollar amount is $7.9 million currently. That does include a 3% escalation we put on there to kind of, we know there was a potential intent here to get to the 2026 to do a bond issue, so we carried an escalation to try to cover that year. This escalation did not take into account tariffs. We did not have tariffs. We still today haven't quantified what the tariffs are going to do, so to make a guess that wouldn't be beneficial for anyone. I think it's clear to show we have a clean baseline of where we're at, and then in 6 to 8 months, if you guys are having further discussions and we are able to quantify what tariffs are at that point, we can come back and do some adjustments to numbers. But right now, today, we haven't put anything in there to try to project those, because we don't have a way to project them yet today. Thoughts or questions on the process for any of the scopes?
I kind of have, and you might have gone through this with the committee. So these numbers, and I'm pulling on page 5, old demo admin building, which that would be over at the park. So let's look at the second one down, demo structure, foundation, basement. The price is $35,000. Is that just like a rough estimate? And because I thought at one time when you came and talked to us that you had said that we could possibly use people within our community, or what was that called? Contractors. So your prices in here is just kind of like a rough estimate, correct?
These are estimated prices. If you decide to go forward with that administration building, we would help you, if we're engaged, we would help you draft a scope of work and put it out there to bid publicly and get true, accurate numbers. These aren't numbers where you would say, hey, we want to do this and write a check for that amount, we're going to do it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to double check that came back around.
Use local people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check that. Thank you.
Yeah, so in this book here, it'll explain a little more what's in that full demolition. And I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to go in that building recently. We did a tour inside, and there was a cat that jumped out of a barrel.
Yeah, you better tell my son a ghost story. Sure enough, a cat jumped out of the barrel. Probably sticks in there. I'm not going to
but there's material stored in the basement.
Yes. Oh,
I think we have in there. We have, yes, removal of hazardous material allowance, because there are some barrels on there that are labeled as potential. I mean, it's just old asbestos tile that somebody packaged up and put in there. But it needs to be handled correctly. So we went through and tried to adjust those numbers accurately.
Gotcha.
I have a question. The escalation per year, you were saying that that's an estimate based off of average how that works?
The scope, some might be able to do that, some would, a majority of bigger projects would be the 2027. Some are 27 just because it would take time to.
And if we also, like, talking earlier, if we didn't do everything, if we did great, but say for grins and giggles, since the parking lot is like 2 million, if we did that in sections, then that, the escalation amount would change, obviously, if we had something that was 5 years out, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
perfect. Just making sure I understand.
Yeah, this is just to give you, we were trying to project close to a year out.
Mhm.
This is just to give you a baseline from that point. When you start stretching that timeline out, all the numbers will have to be adjusted.
Perfect.
But at least you've got a strong baseline you can be comfortable with to make those adjustments from.
I do encourage all of you guys to look through these books, you know, after the meeting or whatever. The amount of time that went into compiling that information, I know that it took a while because those books are pretty impressive.
It is
I mean, there's nice pictures. It's, for somebody, if you don't know anything about like building or remodeling or anything like that, I think you could understand it looking in that book. Yeah, you guys did a great job.
Very user-friendly.
Yes.
So on that mindset, there's a couple items in here, restroom renovations. So there's the one for a potential new restroom. So this lays out an assumed floor plan, an assumed fixture count. So there are a few items like that that will walk you through some scopes that are really left to be defined, because that bathroom could be adjusted later. It's just, again, starting with a baseline and you gotta start somewhere to get a number. But it gives you all that data, that backup, so if you do make those changes, you can adjust the numbers to match the changes.
And did you say that Union used a outside source to help video and promote? Is that how they did it?
So we're talking about a bond issue.
Yes.
Union School District, Union R11 is one of our clients, and they did a promotional video when they decided to go forward with that bond issue, and they brought in the board president, the superintendent. They did interviews. They walked through what does the no tax increase mean to their community, what is that truly defined as, and then they walk through some specific scope items, and then they use that video on their social media to kind of highlight some of those items and show those items. So if these are items that you would want to handle in a bond issue, you can go through and walk through and document and show some of those videos. There's some good images and markups in here that show some potential changes and potential items that you may want to address. But yeah, there's I think it cost about $2,000, but for that company that came in and did that, but it was very, in my opinion, very cost effective. It was very educational to the public.
And their videos were everywhere.
Yeah.
I installed it. I installed it.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long, but it kept your attention through the whole thing.
Any other questions for Corey?
Thank you.
Corey did a great job. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
guys.
all your work on
Appreciate
this.
it. I'll let Dustin know, he did the heavy lifting.
He did the heavy lifting, huh?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Corey.
Thank you. So for now, that's just a informational piece. I know we will circle back around to this probably in the pretty near future, discuss it a little bit more in depth, especially if we want to look at moving forward, putting this on the ballot for no tax increase. Okay, let's move on to Board of Education proposed agenda items. There are none. Resident agenda items, there are none. And next up, we need to look at our May calendars to approve our next board meeting. The 15th is our senior parade. It is also, there's a band concert. A band concert for high school? What?
At 7.
Yes. Would our seniors participate in that?
Parade's at 6, takes about 15 minutes when they get back to the school.
I know, but still, especially when Shannon wants them here a little bit earlier, but whatever, that's not.
It was Shannon's idea.
So, not my deal. So I would say you probably shouldn't look at the 15th.
Is it too early to?
Yeah.
It is
And that's
early.
the other piece, yes.
Kinda early.
Yeah. So if anybody would like to throw out some dates, there is a calendar up here to make sure maybe that there's no block conflicts.
22nd? Oh, that is mine too. Not mine really, but the kids. And teachers.
Yeah. I'm good.
22nd, good, good, good.
Yeah.
I'll move.
You guys?
For the 22nd.
Okay, I'll second.
Motion by Caitlin Mays, seconded by Roger Bridgman to schedule the regular May board meeting on the 22nd of May, 2025 at 6 p.m. with a closed session to follow. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Next up, we do need a motion to go into closed session after a 10-minute recess, please.
Who seconded that?
No one yet.
Well, I understand what you're asking, but I don't know what I'm seconding here. After, you said it before she finished. I wanted to make sure. I'll second.
Remember these two, easy on them.
Motion by Caitlin Mays, seconded by Adam Carnell, to go into closed session in accordance with the provisions of section 610.021, subsection 3 and 13 of the revised statutes of Missouri in order to discuss personnel after a 10-minute recess. Roll call, Roger Bridgman.
Yes.
Adam Carnell.
Yes.
Caitlin Mays.
Yes.
Tammy Palmer.
Yes.
Sherry Schutte.
Yes.
Chris Bell.
Yes.
Jennifer Moreland.
Yes.
7 yeses.
I don't.
Thank you all. Good night.
Oh.
Well, it's still